question for you. Redemption challenge, back to win. You have to remake the dish that you got eliminated on. And Steven went up, with the panna cotta.
That was sad.
Panna cotta always, to me, any kind of like those gelatin desserts always give me the like,
Same.
Because you don't know with the time, like having things set.
And you don't know if you're adding too much gelatin, not enough gelatin.
So that was sad, and I mean, Steven, I enjoyed him on his season as well. But then the next episode, Sean O'Neill comes back from Las Vegas.
That's the liquor one.
The liquor one, yeah. So of the alcohols that they had there, was there one that kind of was like singing your name?
So out of those ones, Kate had the bourbon.
Yeah.
I would like the bourbon, of course.
Sweet or savory?
Okay, if I went savory, I would do like some sort of bourbon sauce pork.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if I went dessert, I would do like a bourbon peach pie or something.
Classic,
yeah, bourbony peachy.
So,
or hazelnut. The hazelnut liqueur I would want. Soak that bitch in a cake. Yeah.
Well, the thing for me is like you can come over and you'll see in my kitchen at home when people bring me wine, like it's only for cooking. So I have nice bottles of stuff, but I open it and I taste it and then I like use it in my food. So it's like a lot of my friends are like, we're gonna come over and drink your alcohol. I'm like, you're welcome to. I have stuff from all over the world. So anytime.
As a drink.
Yeah.
Please come drink it.
But also some of my friends are like, it's not supposed to keep for like 10 years. So there's some wines and stuff. So okay.
Yeah.
So for that episode, unfortunately, Kate goes home.
Sad.
Feeling
that actually surprised me.
Why?
I mean, her dish. They were like, "Oh, it looks like it was sent back," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't. The show's bomb." Like, I don't need that right now.
Yeah.
I don't need that right now.
And I think for me, Kate, I mean, a lot of people know that she's a really good friend of mine, and I just think it's amazing. She's younger than I am, but oftentimes I feel like she's way more mature. And she's pep talked me a lot in a bunch of different occasions. So I was like so excited to see her go back. And I feel like, is she the only one? It's her third time back because she was on season 7, season 8. She was on, did you know that? Yeah, she was on season 7. So this was actually her third time back. And I was like, go Kate, go Kate. But
I didn't know that. That's so cute.
So I think it just goes to show you, I don't know what your experience was on the show as well. I always felt like I could have gone home at any time because if they throw me a skills test of something I just don't know how to do, you can figure it out, but at the heart of it, you just don't know how to do it. So you try your best, but...
Yeah, that's something I was scared of, especially because like when we were going to like the episodes right before the finale of my season, like Kelsey made it on the balcony, I made it on the balcony, and then soon Alejandro had to like fillet this whole fish and like do all the things with Gordon Ramsay. And I literally said that I would have been going home. Right now, I would definitely be going home. I was like, it seems crazy on TV, but right now this is like actually crazy. I was like, yo.
Now, question for you, Autumn, who is your favorite judge from the MasterChef series?
I'd probably just go Joe.
Joe. Why Joe?
Joe was always very helpful with me.
Okay.
Like he would taste something and he'd be like, does it taste good? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, but does it? And then he'd just walk away and I'm like, oh my gosh, does it? And I'd like be sitting there fucking out and I'm like, I mean, I guess I could use a little this or a little this. And then I'd go up and they're like, oh, we're really glad you changed the sauce. And I'm like, thanks, Joe. I'm like, thanks, Joe. Aron roasted me a few times. So he's on the naughty list for me. And Gordon was obviously Gordon Ramsay, like but he was like really intimidating.
I don't think people realize Gordon is like a pretty big dude.
He's big.
So when you go on set,
he's like tall and he's buff.
Yeah, when he showed up, we're just like, okay, hi, you know. But I think what is so amazing, he connects with everyone so well. Yeah. So when he's talking to you, like he's talking to you, you know, and I appreciated that. But he scared me for sure.
Oh yeah. Still does.
And I think for me, actually, Christina was not a judge on your season. No. Christina Tosi was on my season, and I just enjoyed her vibe. And I think it's interesting, like all of us, just because we have different personalities, we're kind of you click with different people, right? Yeah. You get things from different people, and for me, like Christina, I liked how she talked to me about the food and the cuisine, and
yeah. See, I didn't get that with her because I didn't have her, so you know, I only see what they show on TV. Yeah. It's like different to see like.
Because I actually ran into her in Washington D.C. outside a milk bar.
Oh, cute.
I was walking across the street. There was somebody out there in the parking lot, and I was just like, oh my God, that looks like Christina Tosi.
Oh wow.
She goes, oh my gosh, she gave me a big hug. She said, tell me what you're up to, like how's everything going? So
Oh, that's so nice.
I think it really just kind of broke that wall. Because when we're filming, I think people don't realize, like the judges, they have tight schedules and things like that. Once they yell cut on set, the judges are gone.
Yeah, they're like walking right out the door.
They're not chit-chatting with us, and so it was nice to actually meet them in person and realize like, yeah, it just kind of brings the whole thing kind of a little bit like, oh, you're a real person, you know?
Right? I met, so I was at one of the Bruins games recently, and I went to Morimoto's restaurant. And I'm sitting there, and I just see him chilling in the restaurant, and everyone's just sitting there acting casual. And I'm like, hello? I'm like, does nobody see this? And I literally called him over, and he was like, hey, you cook monkfish. And I was like, yeah. I was like, that was me. I cooked the monkfish, thank you.
Yeah.
So I took a little picture, and it was like, yeah.
Wow.
But then I was literally walking around, I was kind of drunk that day. I was walking around to everyone, I was like, do you guys understand this is Morimoto? People were like, no, didn't realize. And I'm like, okay. You're underreacting.
Yeah.
Majorly.
Who was the favorite Legends
Morimoto.
guest? So it was Morimoto for you.
Yeah, or I like Nancy Silverton a lot because I watch her Chef's Table. Chef's Table on Netflix.
Yep.
So I watch her Chef's Table, and then of course, like right after I watch it, she's like the judge.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I think I would have died if Joe Bastianич's mother came on, because people were like, oh, Lydia Bastianich is like your culinary like idol icon, and I explained to them it's because when she cooks, it's her family story.
Yeah.
You know, and them coming over to the US and adapting what they had, it kind of reminds me of like my family when my parents came over to the US and then like adapting what you could find. So I think it's really interesting, like American Italian food is different than authentic Italian food. Both delicious, but just slightly different preparations and and especially like in Boston, I don't know, on Sundays, do you guys have like your Sunday meal and then?
Yeah, so normally Sundays, so like my uncle makes sausage, my dad will make meatballs, my dad like makes a whole sauce. We usually, like, I would say we do that most Sundays.
But there's a whole big thing. Is it called gravy or is it called sauce?
No, sauce. It's not gravy.
So just
I think only like New Jersey people or New York.
So just so
people
people know, okay, in the Boston area, there are some people on some shores, they call their Sunday pasta sauce, red sauce, they call it a gravy.
Like
so
Sunday gravy.
it's a regional thing. So if you hear that, the gravy, that they're from the Boston area, but not your family.
No, we call it sauce.
Okay. All right, going back to your season, Autumn, what is one controversy or maybe incident or something that happened on your season that you feel like needs to be like clarified or explained or the air cleared about?
Maybe, so we had that team episode where it was like, they put us in pairs.
Yep.
And it was Anne and Joseph, and they made it out to be like this whole drama fiasco, and like, all the teams were fighting and arguing, all of us, but they just made it so extra with them two.
It was like a microscope on them.
Yeah, and she was getting so much hate, like she was getting people in her DMs being like, I hope your husband dies, and like, all this just crazy shit. I'm like, that is so unnecessary. People are like really mean to her online.
And this is just a good time to remind everybody, like, we're all people. We're all real people who have like siblings and parents and come from families, and we just happen to audition for the show and go on there. So we get it, like, we give you guys all sorts of feels and stuff, and just please be nice to these people, because you know it hurts. You know, when people send stuff like that, and
so like I feel like that one episode they like made her out to be so crazy, and they made her and Joseph out to be so mean to each other, whereas like it really wasn't like that.
Okay.
When we were like in the heat of the moment.
Sure.
But then when we watched it, I was like,
wow.
And they even had me say stuff too. They were like, so I was on a team with Jersey Mike, and I always call him Jersey. He has Jersey tattooed across him. I always call him Jersey. And then like midway through, they were like, you need to start calling him Michael. So I'm yelling like, Michael, and he just nothing. Nothing. Just the whole time calling him Jersey. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, now they're gonna edit it of like me yelling for him, and he's just not listening, and they're gonna say we get bad communication.
What's interesting to me is all the contestants, when we go on, we all gravitate towards certain other contestants.
Yeah.
And for you, like your bestie from the show, is it correct to say it's Anne?
Yes, Anne. And I love Sue a lot too. So Sue was very unexpectedly, like one of my little besties, because I'm kind of crazy. And Sue is like this little angel. She's like, I don't drink. She doesn't like to swear.
Okay, and I think that's the thing for me about the show is you meet people you would never, ever pass on the street and be like, hey, you want to like grab a cup of coffee or you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we bonded too because she went to school in Boston too. She lived here for a while.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I don't know if you know, like Dino from my season,
Yeah.
we were roommates
Oh.
at the get-go. When we first opened the door, I was like, oh, okay, so they're trying to, you know, put different types of people together, and then
Yeah.
I think I wasn't sure, you know, and I think it's also a lesson to me, just a reminder, like, don't judge a book by its cover, because I just saw Dino look so different than me, and I was like, are we gonna get along? And he's like, hey, how you doing, baby doll, you know?
Yeah,
and I was like,
for
hi,
sure.
Jason. But we got along great, and actually the first shopping trip we had to buy like your personal stuff, we actually bought the exact same brand of food and the same foods.
No
like
way.
we each got a carton of soy milk and it was the same thing. We each got like, it was kind of weird. And I was like, are we the same person?
That's so silly.
So we got along great, and I think that's just amazing. Like it just brings people together.
Yeah,
you know?
food.
Yeah.
Food just brings people together. I love that.
So Autumn, we're gonna play a quick little game that I call Fast Five. So tell us 5 foods that are in your refrigerator right now.
Always a crazy big thing of peeled garlic.
Okay.
I always have garlic, scallion, heavy cream,
Heavy cream. Okay.
cheese.
Cheese.
Lots of cheese.
What kind of
Anything. Okay, so I always have the shallot and chive Boursin cheese.
Oh.
I always have American cheese. I always got some sort of shredded cheese.
Okay.
I love cheese.
And what else is in your fridge?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
You like spicy.
Love spicy.
Okay.
I love like painfully spicy. Like,
Oh wow. So 4 foods you would like to have, like if it was your last meal on earth.
Spaghetti bolognese with a fat ball of burrata on top.
Oh yum.
That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going with all the noodles right now. So number 2 would be a tonkatsu ramen
Oh,
with chashu
Yum.
pork.
yum.
Number 3, some sort of cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Some sort of cheesecake.
I love
Any
cheesecake. I love
Just-
cheesecake.
Yeah.
Do you like it dense or fluffy?
Ooh.
I mean, I know you
Depends
made a
on the
fluffy.
mood.
Okay.
Depends on the mood.
I like New York style where it's like stuck in your mouth, like you think you're gonna choke to death. I do enjoy that.
Like it's
Yeah.
like a tack. I love that. And then one more thing. I'm gonna go with egg tart. Well,
Egg tart?
Chinese egg tart. I love egg tart.
Let's get some sometime.
Yeah, we
Okay.
should. We should.
All right. 3 ice cream flavors that are your favorites.
Oh, so weird. Butter pecan, maple walnut. This is the most like old lady flavors and strawberry.
I love butter pecan and maple walnut. Yeah.
Right?
But I think it's tricky because sometimes like it's artificial and you're like, oh
yeah, you
yeah.
gotta go to like the right place. And strawberry too. I feel like strawberry can be extremely artificial and weird. It's gonna be like a good strawberry. You know, like the best version of strawberry, best version of maple walnut, best version of butter pecan.
All right, we're down to 2. So 2 things that you don't like to eat or you don't eat.
Seafood, all of it, any part of it.
Why?
I don't know.
Autumn, then why did you have shrimp in your finale?
Right? I did shrimp, I did cod, I didn't have like sea urchin.
Yeah. Any specific one more than others?
Okay, so if I'm gonna put them like on like the most liked to
Yeah.
the least liked, salmon, tuna, shrimp are all in the
Okay.
and crab
Okay.
are all at the top of like, oh, I've tried them and I didn't want to puke.
Okay.
They were like, alright,
Yeah.
maybe I'll try it again. Everything else is no. So, seafood. Wait, what was it? 2 things I don't want to try or 2
2
things I
things
like?
that you don't eat.
Okay, seafood, lamb.
Lamb's not your.
Lamb's one of those things that has to be seasoned really good and cooked really
Okay.
good for me to like it, which I feel like most of the time it's just not.
Okay.
So it's like very gamey, very lamey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else like I really just mushrooms. So mushrooms is one of those things. I love the flavor of mushrooms. I will always love the flavor. But and you can stick it in something.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
give me like a mushroom dumpling, I'm
Flavor.
gonna eat the
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it the texture?
It's sort of the just I don't know. I think it's
Okay.
just the sight of it. Like I'm not just gonna eat like a stuffed mushroom.
Yeah.
Or like
That's not
a
your
piece of pizza with a giant piece of mushroom
Yeah.
on it. You know. But
Okay.
if it's like mixed in there and I don't see it and I taste it,
Okay. Autumn, we are down to the last question. So 1 food that has a special memory attached to it for you or a special significance?
So Bananas Foster.
Oh,
Wicked
yum.
Random. So when I was
So, sorry, Bananas Foster is what exactly for people who haven't had it?
So it's bananas cooked down in like a sugary like rum sauce.
Caramel,
yeah,
yum.
Like a rum caramel,
Brown
like
sugar,
cinnamon,
butter.
Yeah, butter.
And served over
ice cream.
Ice
Over
cream.
ice cream.
Delicious,
It's
yeah.
so good. So when I was younger, when I was like really little, I had so many, like obviously I have so many siblings. I'm the oldest of 6. So my parents would try to find like special ways, just take each one of us out and like do like our own little individual thing. And me and my dad's thing was every Sunday we would go to Legal Seafood in Peabody and we would get Bananas Foster. We would do it all the time. And I just remember this one time we went and they like increased the price like crazy. He was like talking about it. And then they brought it over and it was like half the size that it normally is. Like we've been going here for so long.
Actually, I remember when Legal Seafood's kind of things switched it up.
Yeah.
I get it, inflation stuff, but all of a sudden, when you're expecting something and you're like, the portion size is not what it was, you're just kind of feeling some kind of way.
Yeah. So that was the last time we went and got our Legal Seafood, and my dad was like, you know what, we're just gonna start making it at home. So that's really when I started cooking with my parents a lot more.
Okay.
So our big thing from then on was on Sundays me and my dad would make the Bananas Foster for all my like siblings.
That's awesome.
Right?
So you're forever gonna remember, Bananas Foster's and
Yeah, and it was funny because when I was auditioning for Masterchef, you had to take videos of your family and friends talking about like what do you cook that's good? And so I'm interviewing like all my siblings, and they're like, Autumn's best thing is her Bananas Foster. And I'm just like, what do you want to say something else?
Because it's not just that dish; it's the everything around.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like anything food related with my family, like anytime you talk about it, it just that flavor and taste memory's in there, and it just like gives you like the warm fuzzies, So
what would your dish be?
My dish, it would be jjajangmyeon, which is like a noodles thing with like ground pork and then chopped up tofu. It's almost like a Chinese style like bolognese or ragu.
Okay.
But it's served over dry noodles, and you put like shredded cucumber and bean sprouts and like vinegar and stuff on it. It's like a classic Beijing style noodle dish, but it's because my grandma on my dad's side, like she's from Beijing originally, so she did a lot of like dough things like steamed buns and like those noodly type things.
Yeah.
Whenever I have that dish, I always think of her because like we would go to her house and she would have that on the table. I can even see the little pink plastic container she had it all in. And so, it's not just the food, it's the memory of the people you ate it with. So I guess one question for you is, I'm sure a lot of people are curious. After the season aired, a lot of people were like, hey, do you want to do like, what's next for Autumn?
So since the show I did, I catered an engagement party. I've done like a lot of like private dinners, private parties, and I love doing that. I actually have a couple coming up at the end of this month. Just like, little anniversary parties.
Yeah.
One of my friends, her dad had cancer, and I like went to their house and cooked for him. He sadly passed, rest in peace, love him. But like I went there and I cooked for them, which was like a special moment because it was like, the whole family, and I've been doing like a lot of that type of stuff. I want to do more of eventually traveling, eating.
Yeah.
I love cooking, maybe some little cooking videos here and there. But right when the show ended, I had a lot of like opportunities to work in restaurants and do this and that. And I was just like, if I just started working in a restaurant, it would just ruin the fun for me. So that's why I didn't go that route.
And I think for a lot of MasterChef fans, because the emphasis on the show is like fine dining, elevate it. I think sometimes we get stuck in this idea in our head that we have to work in a high-end restaurant or we have to do like fine dining. And I think I learned over my time after the show that there are so many different opportunities in the food industry, just like even just teaching people how to cook, or doing catering things, or for some people that's not what they want to do, and recipe developing, and so I think it's important for fans watching, like, just because you didn't hear from us after the show, that doesn't mean we're not doing things. Maybe we don't have a Michelin star, but we're doing things that we enjoy. So I went back to teaching after the show aired, and I really enjoyed that. And you know, eventually things came up and I couldn't do that schedule anymore, so I was really lucky there were other opportunities. But I know, like for a lot of people, you have a large fan base on a different platform.
Of course.
Yeah, OnlyFans, right?
Yep.
But I think that's really amazing because it shows you're a business person.
Yeah, and it's something that I do for fun. Like I'll do like little silly cooking videos on there. I'll do like little silly Pokemon card openings and stuff. And I just like that it gives you the freedom to just do what I want to do and not have to worry about, oh, I need to get this done now. I need to make these videos now. And so I'm hoping that will propel me into the next thing, which I want to do more cooking videos. I want to do like just more eating videos. I like eating. Yeah.
So Autumn, I really want to thank you so much for taking the time to have some tea with me and talk a little bit about yourself and recap some of the current season and also your season. Are there any things that you want to share with your fandom out there, Masterchef fandom? Final things you want to say, or?
I don't know. Not that I can think of. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks. Yeah, just for all the support and all the love. You know, every now and then I'll go out and people are like, oh, like, me and my friends loved you on the show. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I feel like I was the wild card. So for like, you know, just to get that love, it's just like nice.
And I think you're just so relatable and so real, and that's awesome. And it's so nice to meet you in person. And
absolutely.
Like, she's gorgeous on camera and she's gorgeous in person, and just like a really sparkling personality. So
thank you.
That's my in to make you eat all sorts of seafood you don't want to eat.
Well, we have to go out to eat now. After this, we're gonna do hot pot.
Hot pot, seafood. Where can folks find you on social media?
So most of my social media is Kitty Autumn. It's at Kitty Autumn. Meow. I love cats. I have a YouTube. I have no videos yet, but subscribe.
Yeah.
They come in. Yeah. But yeah, Instagram Kitty Autumn.
And also, can we say OnlyFans?
Yeah, my OnlyFans I think is like Assassin.
Okay.
With a lot of S's.
But I think it's important, folks. Get out there and support your favorite MasterChef folks. We're all trying different things. We're all making it work. And I think it's just amazing that there is a network of people and friends and similar shared experiences. So thank you all for watching. This is Jason's Table Tea Time with Autumn Moretti, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh, cheers. Cheers.